Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you tonight. Sorry for my scratchy throat. Was singing along to this new Linkin Park Papercuts singles collection 2000 to 2023 greatest hits review that I'm going to be reviewing for you guys tonight. So hopefully you will enjoy this greatest hits review. And yeah, let's dive into all 20 tracks, which is an hour and 7 minutes. So let's dive into the singles that they were covering for this greatest hits album. So it starts with Crawling. Great song, by the way. I really like what Chester is singing about in the track, and may he rest in peace because he will be missed to this day. It's been almost 7 years since his passing now. I think by this upcoming July, unfortunately, it will be. And it's still sad, and this is the only way we can remember him by the material Linkin Park gave to us for the past decade and a half. So pretty much 5 out of 5 for Crawling. Great song. Talks about mental health and feeling trapped inside yourself and all that, and just trying to find the light inside to shine and all that. So pretty much that's what the basic uh, premise of the song is talking about. I presume. I'm not sure. Faint is a great track. Really enjoyed Mike Shinoda and Chester singing in this track. It sounded really good, and just the way it executed with how what the song was talking about. But still, it's a great song to jam out to. 5 out of 5. Numb slash Encore featuring Jay-Z. Actually, a good mix-up for this track. I really enjoyed the Numb Encore song. So this is a 5 out of 5 for sure. Jay-Z's rapping was pretty good in this track. Papercut is great track, by the way. I really like Chester's rapping in this from time to time, and his singing too. And it still sounded really good. Even Mike Shinoda's rapping in this song. This is a classic Linkin Park track that started their career off, so pretty much 5 out of 5. Breaking the Habit, great song off their Meteora record. Um, really enjoyed this song and just the way what it's talking about with this track. I really dug the message behind the song, and the music video is pretty interesting too, and mostly animated and all that, and it's pretty cool. So 5 out of 5. In the End, great song, by the way. It's talking about unfortunately suicidal thoughts and all that. I think that's what this song is kind of pertaining about in a sense, because it's talking about Chester's depression in a way and just what he's going through in his headspace. And I think this song kind of captivates and internalizes all the stuff he's been going through over the years and before his passing. And then I guess he just unfortunately, didn't defeat his demons. Uh, and it's so sad because people that really want to try to do better for themselves, um, it just it's really sad, and he still will be missed to this day. I don't really like to analyze it too much because I don't want to analyze it to death too much. It's just I'm only mentioning that particular thing only one time, and if I came off in a pretty rude way of saying it and very harsh and uh, assholish way, I am very sorry. That's not what I'm pertaining to talk about in this review, but pretty much 5 out of 5 for In the End. Bleed It Out. This song was, it was just decent. Wasn't one of my favorites, but I think the song is pretty catchy for the chorus wise, but the problem is the verses. I just don't care for the verses too much. This track was kind of like a skippable kind of song, so I kind of skipped this track while I was on my way home from the store. I was like, nah, I don't want to hear this one. And I'm like, I've heard it many times, and I kind of get the gist. So 4 out of 5. Somewhere I Belong, 5 out of 5. Great track for what it went for. Like the message it's talking about in the song and what the overall track sounds like. It's pretty well mixed. And Chester's vocals and his scream vocals and clean yelling vocals sound really good. So I really enjoyed that. 5 out of 5. Waiting for the End is a 4.75 out of 5. I don't hate this song. I just don't know how I feel about it too much because Mike Shinoda's rapping sounds a little Jamaican in a way. He's trying to sound reggae in a way with this track with his rapping. It just doesn't really work. But overall, there's some quirkiness to the track. Um, but overall, I think the track works with Chester Bennington's clean vocals and it sounds really good. Mike Shinoda kind of tried a little too hard with his reggae kind of rapping and it didn't work. It sounded a little cringy. So 4.75 out of 5. Castle of Glass, great track. Really enjoyed the song. Even though it was off their experimental record, Living Things, which was pretty experimental, I think the track did alright for what it went for. So this is a 5 out of 5. One More Light, pretty sad track about losing someone, uh, going through the grief of someone that passed away. This song was technically about Chris Cornell's passing, but I think the track kind of depicts more to it, even after Chester left us and uh, unfortunately ended his life, which is really sad. So pretty much, I think the track really talks about mourning loss and all that and grieving over it, but it works. This track is really nice and nice melody, and 5 out of 5 for this one. Burn It Down, great track for what it went for. I really enjoyed this song. Still a great song to this day. Even though there's some quirkiness to it with the melody, I still think it works for what it goes for, and they made the song execute pretty good with the electronics. What I've Done is a pretty good song. 5 out of 5 for Burn It Down, by the way. What I've Done, great track for the Transformers movie. Even though the movie wasn't as great, I still think they made it work for what they went for with this track. And Chester's vocals were pretty good in this song, so 5 out of 5. QWERTY was a great song, by the way. I really enjoyed how Chester was screaming in this track, and just Mike Shinoda's rapping from time to time was pretty good. So this song was pretty good. 5 out of 5. One Step Closer, definite classic Linkin Park track to start off the Hybrid Theory album. Kind of. It's the second track on the Hybrid Theory record, but it still is a great song. And I really like the Shut Up When I'm Talking to You part. The bridge part is pretty good for the song, so great track, 5 out of 5. New Divide is actually pretty good. I don't hate it so much. There's some moments where I like it and moments where I'm unsure what to think of it, but I still think it's a strong track. So I'll still give it a 5 out of 5 because it did impress me, this track with Chester's vocals, but there were some moments where it was hit or miss in some areas. But still, it was off the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen movie soundtrack, and that movie was okay and tolerable. It was alright for what it went for. It was better than the first film. I can tell you that. But overall, great track, 5 out of 5. Leave Out All the Rest, great song about when his time comes, forget the ones that I loved. Help me leave behind some uh, things I never said, or whatever lyric he said. Um, reasons to be something. I can't remember. Reasons to be Missed, I think is what he said. Um, I have to go back and listen to this track again. I've heard it so much Sometimes I forget the lyrics, so please forgive me if I tend to forget the lyrics. I've heard Linkin Park so much, so I get what they're going for with this track. It's a really nice song, but the lyrics are pretty dark and sad for what they go for. So 5 out of 5 still for this track. Classic Linkin Park song from the Midnight Minutes to Midnight album. Almost had the wrong album name. Lost was off the 20th anniversary edition for Meteor that came out last year, which is a great track. It was radio friendly, but it was still a really strong track for what it went for. I really enjoyed Chester's vocals in this track. 5 out of 5. Numb is a great track about feeling numb about yourself and just feeling like you can't take it anymore and you just become so numb to the pain. It's still talking about Chester's headspace in a sense with this track, and it's still pretty sad that all these things he was internalizing, he didn't really open up and tell anyone about it. He just internalized it so much, and it's really sad when people do that because there are people that will understand and be able to help you in cases like that. But other than that, you can't control what people do. You can't try to get people to open up about themselves and tell them what's going on with them. Ask them what's going on with them because not a lot of people will do that. But other than that, I don't really want to go into analyzing it again, so please forgive me if I did that again. Still a great track, 5 out of 5. Friendly Fire is the closing track to the... Sorry for my scratchy throat. Friendly Fire was the closing track for this record, this Greatest Hits album. Great song, by the way. It's really nice what it goes for. I wasn't sure if I was going to get used to this track, but it's grown on me, and I really dig this song. And I'd give this a 5 out of 5 too. The lyrics are pretty interesting. It was off the One More Light kind of special edition. It's an unreleased track from the One More Light record, but it actually is probably their best unreleased song. That was off an album that was not very good, unfortunately. And a lot of people say, oh, well, Chester Bennington killed himself because of the... I had someone say Chester Bennington killed himself because of the One More Light album not doing so well. I'm like, that's not true. It was untreated mental health. That's what it was. That's how I view it. So basically, 5 out of 5 for Linkin Park. Friendly Fire. Overall, production and execution wise, I found myself thinking this was actually pretty good. I mean, there were some songs that I had issues with, only like 2 tracks, which are, what is it, Bleed It Out and Waiting for the End. I didn't hate those songs, I just don't, they're kind of songs I will tolerate, but not really care to really get involved and really invest my time listening to it too much. Like Bleed It Out, for instance, the lyrics are kind of hit or miss. Like, they are what they are, but Waiting for the End is pretty good, but it has an execution flaw, which is gonna be Mike Shinoda's reggae rapping. That part I couldn't really get behind and say I'll tolerate it. I can tolerate it and listen to it, but the only strong part about that track was Chester's verses and chorus in the track. It still was pretty strong for that song, and that's why I gave it the rating it deserved. So, for an overall score, I'm going to give Linkin Park Papercuts Singles Collection 2000 to 2023 Greatest Hits review. I'm going to give this whole review for this project an 8.5 out of 10. This is a pretty good listen. I highly recommend you check this Greatest Hits album out when that comes out at midnight. I think you guys will really enjoy this, and 8.5 out of 10 for Linkin Park Papercuts Greatest Hits Singles Collection 2000 to 2023 review. And I hope you enjoyed this review. Sorry if it's lagging a bit. It's my laptop being a little bitch, so it's just being a pain right now. And with that being said, thank you guys for this review tonight.